This is your man's Nic Rattlehead, and we are back for another year-end episode of Aftershock Reviews, your place for great reviews. Now, it is time for the main event. Nic and Jibbie's top 10 list of 2019. Jason!
Yes.
Jibbie!
Yes.
My man, are you ready?
I am ready.
I am ready too.
I have a list, and I've checked it twice, and I'm gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
Run that.
Let's go.
I have a list too.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know who's been naughty or nice on my list, but I don't care. But I think at the end of the day, my list is kind of bad. But that's okay though. That's all right though. They've been naughty, and I love them for it.
Indeed.
So now, without further ado, let's get into it. Jason.
Yes.
What is your number 10? Number 10.
My number 10 in my top 10 albums of 2019 is an album by the name of Ugh, Those Feels Again by an artist, Snow Allegra.
Okay. Okay.
I fought hard to put this album somewhere on my list, and it almost didn't make it. It almost got swapped out because of the other honorable mentions that got put in. This album is partly one of the best R&B albums I've heard in years, but also another part of it is like kind of bad. There's like 3 songs in the middle that just like completely kill the momentum of the album, but the first 6 songs are damn near flawless, and then she comes back at the end to save it in the last 3. It's just like 3 songs somewhere in the middle that just
they're so
kill the momentum, but everything else is situationships, Toronto, Find Someone Like You.
Well,
listen, that girl can. She reminds me. I think what I was trying to tell you. She reminds me a lot of early Alicia Keys in the way that she sings, and also some of the choices that she makes with like the music and stuff like that. I'm just like, this reminds me a lot of like Diary of Alicia Keys, As I Am. Like, and you know, that's like our favorite little era, our favorite little pocket of Alicia Keys. And I'm just like, look, you were scratching an itch that I haven't had scratched in a real long time, and I love it. I wanted the album to be higher on my list, and it almost didn't make it on the list at all because there's just a little part somewhere towards the end where it just
and it breaks the momentum.
Just like, oh, why? But the other stuff around that is just, God, it's so good. Nick!
Yes!
What is your number 10 album?
My number 10 album of 2019, as told by Nic Rattlehead, is Posthumous Humiliation.
Okay.
By Pissgrave.
Oh, man, not Pissgrave.
Matt, that's for you. Yes. Because earlier this year, Matt used to tease me all the time. He's like, is that band's name really Pissgrave? I'm like, yes. It is. He's like, that's whack. We even had, I can't remember what review it's on, but he makes fun of me, and I had to defend Pissgrave's name because it's hard. That's a hard name.
Pissgrave, number 10, it deserves.
Look, let me tell you something.
Let's talk about it.
That album is auditory filth. It's like the guy is throwing up in the microphone as indistinguishable guitars are just going off in the background. It's amazing. It's amazing. The drums sound like he sounds like he just got on the kit a couple of days ago, and he learned how to play a blast beat that day. It's amazing. It's so awesome.
I just want to make a note. I'm sorry. The way that you describe albums sometimes is just gross.
Because it's supposed to be. Because it's supposed to be.
It sounds like the man is vomiting in my ears.
Because he sounds like, wah, wah. I'm like, yes.
That does sound like vomit.
What is this? And it's like his vocals are layered. So it's kind of like, it's like a plethora of people are just, it's like demons are spitting up into the microphone. And then it's like, good. We don't need any other takes than that. That's good. That's all we need. And then they just went on to the instrumentation. And the instrumentation is equally as putrid as everything else. The album, like, as you've noticed, we have title cards that are going to show the albums as we, tell them to you. You'll notice that the album cover that I just showed you guys is just literally just a black cover, and it just says Pissgrave on it. Reason being, because the album cover itself is gross. It's literally, remember the album cover I showed you on your stream where it has the guy's head that's been split open?
Yep.
And like his teeth is here and his another set of the teeth is there and the eyeball is up here and it's like pus and spit and blood and brains everywhere. And it's a real photo. That's how the album sounds. Every bit as gross as that. And I absolutely love it. It's been very polarizing. Some people say, like, look, this is not real death metal. This is kind of stupid. It's very gimmicky. Why the heck do you like this? It's a situation for me where it's kind of like how Primitive Man was, where Primitive Man's Caustic in 2017, while you can't remember a lot of the riffs that occurred on a majority of the tracks outside of My Will, which was the intro track, it's an experience. It's a torture chamber. It's a vibe, but in a different way than what I'm talking about with Chasing so far as Sir is concerned. It's literally like you walk into hell and people are being butchered and everything else, and they just so happen to catch it on tape. And because of that, and because of the fact that they can create that gross atmosphere, and it makes you feel like you have to gag every time you hear every one of those tracks, especially tracks like Emaciated. But Emaciated is a track name. It's so dope. And it has almost like thrashy type guitars. You're looking at me like I'm speaking Spanish. All I'm saying is this album is gross. And I love it for it. Posthumous Humiliation by Pissgrave. Jason.
Yes.
What is your number 9? Number 9.
We're going to go in the complete opposite direction of whatever he just said. My number 9 album is going to start some controversy in this room, but I'm going to say it anyway. My number 9 album of 2019 is 'Cause I Love You by Lizzo. I'm going to let that breathe. My number 9 album of 2019 is 'Cause I Love You by Lizzo. That is one of the best pop albums I've heard in years. It hits you right in the nose sometimes with the messaging. And when it does do that, it's not as appealing as an entire song. But there are times when she does that the rest of the song is just so good that you just don't care. The other day, when everybody was going crazy on the Twitters and the Facebooks about the Soul Train Awards and who should win what and whatnot, I was trying to figure out why I was so keen on defending Lizzo. I was like, why do I like her so much? I listened to the album again that day, and I was like, this isn't just me jumping to somebody's defense for no reason. I genuinely like this. And even when I listened to it today and trying to put together the list, I was like, is this going to make the top 10? I got 5 songs in, and I was like, oh, hell yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely it's going to make the top 10. And I figured it out. Lizzo reminds me a lot of what I love about Janelle Monáe. I'm losing them the more that I talk. Listen to me, Aftershock family. Get past what she's being sold to you as and get into the music itself. It's funky. It's got really good pop elements. I love what she's saying. It's very good. The album is very good. The singles are very good. The album itself is very good. There's a song on there with Missy Elliott. It's one of the best like torque bangers I've ever heard, period. It's just so good. My number 9 album is 'Cause I Love You by Lizzo. I mean, he hasn't been able to say a word in like the past 5 minutes. I want to know your thoughts on this, Nick. Let's talk about it.
So
when you brought up Lizzo one time passively, you were like, how do you feel about her? I said, oh, I really like her. She's really good. And she's only grown on me since then. I didn't think she was going to make my top 10 maybe a couple months ago. But here we are.
So what led to this? Like who put you on Lizzo first off, so I know who to blame?
Nobody. I was interested in checking her out on my own. Because I kept seeing her on Twitter, like playing the flute and twerking on stage and yelling, bitch, at people. And I was like, that's an interesting character. And then like her album came out and I saw the album cover and I was like, that's interesting. And then I heard Juice, one of the first singles that came out. And I was like, I love this song. This song is so good. I'm going to check it out. And so I checked it out on my own. When I heard the whole album the first time, I was like, this is good. It's rough around the edges, but it's good. Maybe the next one, she's going to knock it out the park. And I forgot about it for a minute. Started listening to some other stuff. And then it just clicked one day. I can't tell you exactly what happened. There was no moment. There was no person. There was no nothing. It was just like, let me go back to Lizzo real quick. I think I might have been thinking about my top 10. And I'm just like, I'm struggling to even come up with 10 albums at the time. And I went back to it and I was just like, no, I like even the first song. I love it. Yep. Like a Girl. Okay, great. Yep. Juice. Yes. Soulmate. Yes. You just keep going all the way down. Jerome is like, it's funny the first time you listen to it, but then it gets a little boring. But then every other song after that, like Tempo with Missy Elliott, got Exactly How I Feel, Lingerie. Truth Hurts. I'm just, It's good. That girl can sing. That girl can put together a pop song. She can put together an anthem. I love it.
You know what?
And it's so out of character for me, isn't it?
I think it's not the fact that I think Lizzo is bad. It's the fact that I have been trying my darndest to get you into any sort of pop music. Like, you didn't even listen to me when it came to "Dangerous Woman" by Ariana Grande. You didn't listen to me. It took your fiance to convince you to listen to that album.
That's true,
right? So now you.
This was a strange year, Nick. Putting this list together was extremely difficult. And it was because I had to kind of come to a reckoning with myself. I was just like, do I like pop now? And this was the album where I was like, I think I do. Maybe if it sounds like this. Huh. Any more questions?
No.
Stunned silence.
Yeah.
My number 9 album, once again, is "Cause I Love You" by Lizzo. Sure. I don't know what else to say. If you haven't checked it out, I think you should.
Yeah.
If you have checked it out and for some reason it was just like, it's a little lukewarm, I encourage you to check it out again. Nick.
Yeah.
And there you go. Nick!
Yes. Yeah.
Let's move on to something a little different, huh? Yeah. What's your number 9 album for 2019?
Well, I was looking at you like that because I'm shocked that you're listening to pop.
Yes.
Pop, pardon.
Yes.
Don't judge me.
I just told you that my number 9 album is Lizzo. I can't judge you.
Okay, well, okay. We'll keep that tone.
Okay.
Keep that tone.
Okay.
My number 9 album is Glowtoven.
Oh, I knew that was
by Chief Keef and Zaytoven.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Let me tell you something about my man's Chief Keef right here.
He is the biggest Chief Keef fan on the planet. If y'all didn't already know that.
Let me tell you something about this album, bro. I went online. I was like, oh, he's going to do another project with Zaytoven. Cool, I'll listen to that. The album begins to play. And I'm like, oh, okay, first track. When Old Heads and Regretful Hoes starts playing. That's the second track if you don't know. Mm-hmm. Jason, I was so... You know he got good dope. You know he smoke good dope. I don't smoke, but you know he smoke good dope though, right? Mm-hmm. You know that? Mm-hmm. Smoking on Tuka. Tell a chick Buddha, ooh, Lil Pump might come shoot you. I don't even like Lil Pump, but that junk was fire. And that beat was fire. But there is one track in particular. Spy Kids, amazing. Hand, amazing. Petty, amazing. Posse. Posse. That's what I said. Posse, right? Mm-hmm. I would go out on a limb and say that's my second favorite track of this year. Look, every time I come around Jason, he lets me play stuff on his Google Assistant out there. What is the track I'm trying to get you into? What is the track I'm always playing? It's that one. Throw you in there with let me tell you something. Throw you in there with the dishes. Me and my killers in your house, we standing in your kitchen. Do the dishes with your face, little pussy nigga, use a drink. Told my longest chopper, knock it over, spill ya. Red up in my liver, green up in my pocket, got the Glocky on my hip, like some heavy shit, I drop you. Doom, grab my pistol. Who the fuck is that they're knocking? 4-5 auto super faucet 30 shot you where your bossy. That's hard.
Y'all.
That's hard.
Nick.
You don't get more hard than that. You don't.
Nick has been trying to get me into this Chief Keef wave of his. He's been in. I thought it would be a fad.
No.
That kind of let up after a while.
No.
It's very clear to me that it's never ending.
No.
I'm not even surprised.
He keep dropping heat like that, I'm going to be 80 with no legs in a wheelchair. Singing Chief Keef.
Oh my God.
Not a game. You think I'm playing?
No, I know you're not playing.
I'm not.
It's not a game.
Heck yes. It's not. My number 9. Glowtoven by Chief Keef and Zaytoven.
Ooh, boy.
Jason.
I can't keep up with you. I can't keep up with you. Yes, Nick.
What is your number 8? Number 8.
My number 8 album of 2019 is Zoo by Denzel Curry.
Ooh, okay.
I've been listening to Denzel Curry for about 3 or 4 years now. Somebody put me on during the jukebox days.
Okay.
And I've liked him, but there hasn't been anything about him that says like, oh man, this is that is the one. I'm just like he's somewhere in between like conscious and trap, the boxes that we put these artists in. Something about the music that he had put together prior to this, what I think is the shortest album, just didn't click for me. It's like something was always just a little off. Maybe it was a little too indulgent. Maybe it was a little too soupy. Maybe it was a little too hard. I don't know what this album is just damn near 30 minutes. If you cut out the skits, like 25 minutes of just bangers. Just nonstop bangers. Like Birds with Rick Ross, that's one of the best songs I've heard this year.
Rick Ross.
Yes.
Rick Ross is one of your favorites?
If you put Rick Ross on the right beat and you let his ad libs, his if you let that shit breathe when it needs to, every time, because he knows how to ride a beat. His raps are not particularly like, oh man, I can't believe what he just said. You don't remember what he said. You remember how he said it.
Exactly.
And you're just like, God,
like Chief Sosa.
Oh, yes. I mean, precisely what, like, that's why, like, whenever you talk about the Chief Keef stuff and you talk about, like, when you get into, like, just the way he just starts rapping, like, the way he hits those, like, those ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, you know what I mean? Like,
cadence.
You just, you just know. They're like, God, that's just hard.
Yes.
That song in particular is one of my favorites. Automatic is, oh, God, just take Keef. That song's so good. Speedboat. Listen. That album go hard. There's not a whole lot of go hard on this list. That's probably the hardest album on this list.
Oh, okay.
Because it go hard.
Hard.
In the same way that he is riding for Chief Keef, Denzel Curry, you got me. You got me. Listen.
All right.
Woo! It's
hard.
It's hard.
HAWRD.
E.
Ooh, hard.
Silent E at the end.
Okay.
Number 8, Zoo, Denzel Curry. Nick!
Yes.
Your number 8.
My number 8 tore me. It's there. It's in my top 10 out of like the plethora of albums I've been listening to this year. But I wish it were higher, but I can't put it higher. But number 8 is Birth of Violence by Chelsea Wolfe.
Number 8.
Number 8. That's the lowest a Chelsea Wolfe album has ever been in my top 10. She's always made it there. And it's not because, Chelsea Wolfe, she automatically has to be in my top 10. No, like if she was making trash albums, she wouldn't be nowhere near my top 10. The album is still good. The thing about it is, though, I still can't get on board with some of the songwriting on that album. Like, there are still some great tracks, a la the 2 singles, Mother Road, which had to grow on me, American Darkness, which is just one of the most, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Even when she sweetly sings in the background, Won't You Dance, against her sweet acoustic strumming, right? Because that's the thing about it is, like, this album is not doom laden. It's not a metal album like His Fun was, or 2015's Abyss, which was my album of the year that year. This one takes more of an approach that Unknown Rooms had, where it's nothing but her and then her acoustic guitar and some slight accompaniment. That's about it. And aside from Deranged from Rock and Roll, because that's just a full-blown rock song. But the problem is, without the memorable riff, right? Without any memorable passages, it feels aimless. You see? And there are songs on there like Day, which to me doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. You see?
I feel like so a lot of the back and forth Nick and I have been having it. We're gonna get into it a lot more when I get further up my list. I feel like I've heard you say that about a lot of albums that we've been talking about this year, where like you feel like it's maybe empty, or like there's something more that they were supposed to give you, but you didn't feel it. What about that don't you like? It seems like that's a trend where it's just like if it feels like there's just emptiness here, I can't get down with it. Because I feel like you do, like Chelsea Wolfe and artists like Chelsea Wolfe, I think Emma Ruth Rundle, like certain artists like that you've tried to put me on to, they have that quality in a lot of their music where it feels like they give themselves a lot more room to breathe, or a lot of room for their voice or their instrument to kind of take over. And it's okay that it's just like 2 or 3 elements that it's a part of it, and you still love it anyway. So why doesn't it click sometimes?
Because, well, the reason why it's not clicking now, like I said before, is because it lacks a strong melody. It lacks something to keep me coming back. It lacks what they call
nothing to like latch on to.
Yeah, it doesn't have a hook. You see what I mean? And with that, like when it comes to Chelsea Wolfe, she might not necessarily have like, you know, an infectious vocal line, right? But there's always something like, take for instance, a very skeletal track like Flatlands. Flatlands comes in with her gently strumming a sweet and beautiful melody that brings you into the track. And that melody is repeated throughout the entire track, right? So once it ends, even though I've gone on to spin in circles and things like that, I'm still humming. Like I even have it in my head now since I said the name. I hear that song in my head, right? I have some type of anchor, some type of, I don't know, spinning top to go back to when it comes to that track. When it comes to a lot of the songs from Birth of Violence, they're a vibe, yes. But I have nothing to remember it by.
Yeah, you don't take anything away from it.
I don't take anything away from
after you've listened to it.
And that's why I like songs like American Darkness, where she sweetly sings like, won't you, and the way she sings, won't you dance? That vocal line, that vocal melody that she gives you, and she repeatedly, and she keeps giving you throughout the track, I have something to go back to. I have something to sing while I'm at my desk, right? Mother Road, and how it builds and swells, and then now we have strings, and now we have different guitar riffs and counter melodies in the background that's going on that makes the track feel epic. It gives me a payoff from going from that skeletal beginning to this grand epic finish. Some of those tracks don't do that. You see what I mean? It's like songs like Little Grave. I know a lot of people like Little Grave. I don't particularly care for it. She's singing in a very high falsetto. I'm not used to that to Chelsea. I don't mind it, but I'm not used to it. And then if I'm not used to something, and then on top of that, I feel like I don't have anything to grasp onto. It's a vibe for a moment, but then afterwards, I'm done. It's like
what's next?
It's like the Batman Forever when it comes to a lot of the Chelsea Wolfe stuff. Good in the moment,
but once it's off, you're
not thinking about it no more. You just say, I watched the Batman movie. That's it.
Okay.
So
cool.
That's my number 8. Birth of Violence by Chelsea Wolfe. Jason.
Yeah.
What is your number 7? Number 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, this number 7 album comes to you courtesy of BZ430 from Dead Hip Hop. Put me on during his top 5 video earlier this year. My number 7 album of the year is Gray Area by an artist named Little Sims. She is a British rapper. She is very good. I watched Dead in Hip Hop's top 5 mid-year video, and I remember him mentioning this artist, and I didn't think much about it. I was listening to somebody else, and then her song, Little Sim's song, Selfish, came on off of her album, Gray Area. And I was just like, this is such a groove. Oh my God. This is, ooh, I love it. So I was like, I remember him mentioning Little Sims. Let me check it out. Listen to that album from top to bottom, y'all. That album is great. I don't know what it is about like a good British accent, like a good British rapper. And I'm starting to just like really, really love. I love the accent. I like the swagger that she raps with. I like the cartoony sound effects and things like that in the background. She is a lot of fun, but she also is like super serious as well. Like Pressure, the song with Little Dragon, that's one of my favorite songs this year. It's literally just about applying pressure and like getting better and you know being successful and things like that. She's got a song in there talking about therapy, like she's fighting about going to therapy at all because she doesn't feel like she needs it because she's better than that, or like she's not. You know, there's that stigma behind like people going to therapy, like it makes you weak or something like that because you need it. And so she kind of it's really dope that like she plays with it, like the perspectives, like the different perspectives that people have when thinking about going to therapy, where it's like, I need this, but I feel like I'm kind of a punk for needing it, but also I shouldn't feel that way. Like all kinds of other stuff like that. The closing track of that album, Flowers, is beautiful. I mean, this is a really good album. I don't think I've talked to you much about it.
I've never even heard of it before.
I've held a lot of the list kind of close to the chest, I think, because first of all, we don't have a podcast anymore. But you know, like I've just been trying to digest and figure out like where it was gonna fall, and I knew this one was gonna fall on the list, but like where was the question? Little Sims by Gray Area by Little Sims. Is one of the best rap albums I've heard this year. It's really sweet. It's very funny. It's like just grimy and nasty. There's a song called Venom that's really good. It's just a really good album. It's a lot of different flavors, a lot of different textures in the music. It's not just one thing. And I think she's a really good artist. So
all right,
there it is.
All right,
You're number 6, Nick.
7.
7. I'm sorry, jumping the gun here. My bad.
All right, my number 7.
7.
Jason is Deserted by Gate Creeper.
That's a name that sounds familiar.
Yes, because I love them.
Yes.
I have been on them since Sonoram Deprivation, 2016. And when I heard, I think it was Sterilized, the second track from the album, I was like, who is this? Right? Because it's literally caveman playing as McDonald's chicken nuggets type of death metal. I kid you not, right? And when I heard that album, I was automatically hooked. Then they did an EP with Sweltering Madness in 2017, which just added more fuel to the fire. I'm like, okay, it's 2018. Like, I need something. Like, you need to give me something because I need more of this. Whatever this is, well, I need more of this. Didn't get anything. I've seen them on tour twice. I missed them this month. Last month, I was so hurt because also their lead singer Chase Mason, who's also a part of this doom band called Spirit Adrift, coolest, nicest guy in the world, right? He told me at one point when I saw him last year, he was just like, so we're going to be making an album, all this good stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, but keep it under wraps. I said, cool. Since the album's not out now, I can actually tell you the story.
Right.
So because he had asked to take a picture with me because like he had remembered me from a previous show.
That's so dope.
That's what I'm saying. Like if an artist remembers you after meeting thousands of people and actually says your name, that shows how cool of a person that person is.
That means
what I mean?
something.
That means something.
Yep.
So when I heard their track Boiled Over, the lead track for this album, I was like, oh, because it was slow. I'm usually used to hearing Gate Creeper going at a very breakneck type of speed, right? Slashing through a 2-minute track, right? With Swedish death metal guitar sounds and thundering, and I mean it when I say it, thundering percussion, right? As Chase Mason's just, beautiful, old school bolt thrower death metal voice. Just all throughout. I'm like, yes, dude, because it's slow. It has this very simple 4/4 time signature. It was like boom, 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 boom. It's like, what is this? Headbanger, like just dragging its knuckles throughout the time signature. Like, what is this? Jason, listen to me. And then they re-recorded Sweltering Madness and put it on here, right? And that is where I did have a problem with the album initially. Right? Because they cleaned up the production. You'll notice this when it comes to me and my taste in metal. I like things to be filthy. I like things like, if you have to equate it to a drawing, I like to see the smudge marks. Yeah. I like to see the eraser markings and all that other good stuff, right? And I love death metal that leaves those type of things in there. This album cleans it up. The percussion is way more clean. The guitar notes are way more, the way they approach the production for the guitar is way more measured, right?
Okay.
And that was off-putting to me. In the excitement for Boil It Over, I didn't pay too much attention to it. But when I listened to the album and I heard the title track Deserted and I kept going through it and I heard Puncture Wounds and the rest of that, I'm like, what? Okay. Because the bass drum or the kick drum doesn't have a lot of presence on this album. It doesn't, right? And I'm guessing that helps make it seem a little bit more accessible, right? But it turned me off for a while. For a while, I didn't even like this album. I thought this album was not good, strictly because of the production. But I don't know what happened a couple of months ago, and I listened to the album again. I was like, I can't think of Gatekeeper this way. Like, it can't be as bad as I'm thinking that it is. And I don't know if I tricked myself into liking it. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, everything just clicked into place. I was just like, no, I'm tripping. Because now, like, when I go past the production, I start listening to the riffs and the way that Eric constructs them, and they make death metal seem accessible, right? I'm like, this is good. This is actually really good, right? So it had to win me over. Okay. But this album is amazing. Deserted by Gatekeeper.
Indeed.
Jason.
Yes, Nick.
What is your number 6?
My number six album of 2019 is Diaspora by Goldlink. Now, recent controversies aside.
Okay.
Recent controversies aside.
Okay.
Because what the boy did,
like an idiot.
It was dumb.
That was stupid.
Everybody knows it was dumb.
That was stupid.
Not excusing that. Why?
Okay.
A year and some change after the boy dies, do you want to come out and be like, "Hey, yo, man, I appreciated you, but also I feel like you stole my swag, and like we talked about it a little bit, like, and we was cool." Like, did you think you really
run on the best of terms?
Did you think you were talking to him for real, or did you you knew you were talking to us, right? The people that were like watching your Instagram posts. Anyway, besides, I didn't want to bring all that up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
In light of all the recent dumbassery that boy has been up to, the album was still smoking.
I take that.
Diaspora is the best album that he's ever come out with. I've been a Goldlink fan for at least 4 years, and he's been playing with his sound. Actually, I'll say since the God Complex, so like 5 years ago, he's been playing with his sound a little bit, like with every album. It gets different, like it gets kind of like a different vibe, and I think Diaspora lives up to its name. It's just like the sound is all across the spectrum of just black music, and I think it's really good. Just from top to bottom, there's maybe only 1 or 2 songs that I think are mediocre, but then like there are just other songs like Coke White with Pusha T, so Yard is amazing, Spanish song, You Say It with Tyler the Creator, that's one of the best singles he has ever come out with. That is a groove. It is nasty. It is so good. The beginning of the album, Joke Ting, is really good. Maniac is one of my favorite songs this year. And every time I hear that song, I get hype. You just better watch your back. I'm a maniac. Like, boy, you better stop. It's just, the album is so good, but the person behind the album is really wants to get himself in trouble for no reason and just say dumb things.
Who's that remind you?
But so many people. So many people.
That one in particular.
Who's the one you're thinking about?
I don't know. What was his name? Janye Kest.
Jesus Man.
Yeah, that guy.
Christian billionaire, greatest artist on earth.
I think that's his name.
That's his name. That's what he wanted to get changed to. You're right.
That's him.
You're right. Yes, exactly like that. Everybody keep putting their foot in their mouth so often. It's so hard to keep up with this stuff.
Yeah.
But all that aside, the album itself was still top 10. And it was one of those things where like I knew that that whole controversy was gonna like end up being like, oh, is this gonna put this in question of whether or not it's top 10? Went back and listened to the album a couple times after that happened. I was like, no. Yeah. there's just no denying like this has had a spot on the top 10 for a while. Okay. And no other albums have just kicked it off completely. Not even the Mac Miller mess has kicked it off completely. So there you go. Number 6, Diaspora by Goldlink. Nick!
Yes!
Number 6 on your list!
Number 6 on my list.
On your list.
Is Over It by Summer Walker. You saw that coming.
Yo, I got a, just, y'all can't see it. I got a small little section on my little notebook here. Nick better mention. And he's mentioned 3 of the 4 albums on my list here already so far, since we've been talking. Summer Walker was the 4th one. Let's talk about it. You've been crazy about this album all year, and that was a surprise. That was a surprise to me.
You didn't think I was gonna like this album?
No.
Why? I like Last Day of Summer. Why would I not like this album?
Because I don't think it's different. It's different.
It's not that different.
It's different.
It's really not that different. Okay. The first 4 tracks, yes, poo. I do not like.
And that says something that, like you say, the first 4 songs you don't care for is still number 6 on your list.
Because the rest of them are so good. Come Through with Usher, which that song is so good. It's literally
a nice little callback.
Yes.
To that. Yep.
And then let's talk about it though, because that's not the highlight. That's not the highlight. We have songs like Potential, where it comes in with literally, it sounds like some guy's just making the beat, like he's like stomping his heel in the ground and tapping on his knee, and you have like this beautiful vocal harmony, and she starts to sing, "You've got potential, you've got you." It's so good. Oh, dude, her voice is enchanting. Her voice is enchanting. And then who is that man that we got London on the track? London on the track. I think this is his name.
He produced the whole album.
Let me tell you something. He need to be on everything she do.
They together.
They're dating,
they're a couple,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keep him.
Keep him. You heard that? You heard it here.
Keep him. Tracks like Potential and Tonight. The best song off that album is Tonight. Followed closely by Stretch You Out with Boogie with a Hoodie. I know you don't like Boogie's part.
It's so bad.
I know you don't.
The song is so good.
I know you don't like Boogie's part.
This part is so bad.
I know.
It's so bad, man.
I think.
And you meant to me, and me, and I'm gonna me. What is he saying? That is not singing. He's like whining.
But
what
it doesn't
is it?
matter what he's saying.
And then she got to come back and stretch you out. Like, cause I'm just like, why did you even have him? You know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you
go.
A lot of what happens on this, the thing that I think made Last Day of Summer so good, it was her. It was her, just her. And I feel like there are just a lot of moments on this album where other people show up and they just don't add anything to the song for me. That was the biggest offender, was that one. Stretch It. I was just like, this could have been anybody else. This could have just been a second verse from you. You let this boy get on this song and just ruin it. Like this should be on a playlist I have that is only getting played at certain times of night, if you know what I'm saying. But he come on, like imagine if you knee deep in a little something. You know what I'm saying? And you been going, honey, you been me. I'm just, the mood is done. I'm rolling over and I'm going to bed. There will be no stretching out. There will be no stretching out that night. Like if you hear this man start singing, God, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You had to get that out.
Hey, I did. Because I knew this was coming, and I knew we were going to talk about it. And again, it's going to be some albums coming up on my list where you're going to give me the whole. It's going to be worse than anything I just said. I don't get it.
Oh, don't make me nervous. Okay,
I don't get it.
Let's just keep moving.
I don't get it.
Number 6, Over It by Summer Walker. Jason.
All right, let's begin.
We are now in the top 5.
Yep.
Top 5.